What's happening, tabletop gamers? My name is LeunameGames. Welcome back to LeunameGames Boxes. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Longshot, the dice game, by Chris Handy and published by Perplext. Let's have a look at the back here and see what this is about. Plan and push your luck as the action unfolds in this tense race of 8 horses. You'll buy horses, place bets, influence race movement, and utilize special abilities. The dice determine which horses move and the actions available each turn. So be ready to adapt your plans in this game. Once 3 horses cross the finish line, earnings are totaled, and the player that makes the most money will be declared the winner. Will you play it safe or risk it big on a long shot? Now apparently this is actually based off of another game also called Longshot by the same designer actually. Now I've never played that game, but I am curious about it. So I'm very curious about what this is. So with all that said, let's have a look and see what does Longshot the dice game have to offer us. The game comes with a small board to represent the track that you'll be racing on. There are 3 key features on the track, the first being this spot over here, which represents the horses that come in first, second, and third place, and the rewards that you get when they come there. There's another one here that represents the start line and the finish line, as well as this little symbol down here, which means that a horse can only cross this line under a certain conditions. Then finally there's this line here with this symbol here, and that means that once a horse passes this line, that means that you can no longer place bets on that horse. There are 8 horses that come with the game, each of them having their own number printed on the top of the horse, as well as on each of the sides of the horse, which is really nice. So that means you won't have to pick up the horse just to be able to see the number once they're all scrunched into each other like this. I also gotta say, the numbers on the horses are all very easy to see, so if you have troubles with seeing color, you shouldn't have any issues with telling which horse is which. You have 8 player boards that come with the game, 1 for each player, and each of them has several defining features. One is this little spot right here, which basically is meant to display how much money you have. You have these slots here, which is meant to represent which horse you placed your bets on. It has this little chart here, which I'm assuming is whatever your horse is scored in, you'll basically multiply the score of what you bet on it by whatever position it comes in. There's a nice little summary here that displays all the various actions that you can do. It has a nice little chart here to display some of the wild actions that you can perform, as well as various symbols of the various actions that you can take. It also has this little grid over here, which represents one of the actions, which based on the symbol, I'm assuming it has something to do with the concession stand. And then finally there's this little bit down here, which I'm assuming is meant to be where you determine your final score, with the position of the horse, basically the points that you've earned when your horse finishes the race. You have the little bonus points that you can get from these sides here, as well as bonuses for her bets and any leftover money that you have. There are 8 markers that come with the game, and these are basically what you're going to be marking off on your player boards. And I just wanted to make sure to see how these work. I did not open these before taking a look, and I can say right now that they do function very well. The erasers are very clean. It really does work in wiping the marks away. So they do work out nicely, so you don't have to worry about any smudges getting left behind. There's also a solo player board that comes with the game, obviously if you want to play this solo. And it's similar to what the individual boards are, but it has a couple of differences with this little grid over here. What this grid is for, I am not entirely certain. I'm assuming this is basically meant to be representing of what the game will do when it is the game's turn to act. There are 2 dice that come with the game, a movement die and a horse die, and this is basically what you're going to be using to move the horses. The die over here, the horse die, is basically going to be representing what horse will be moving, and I'm saying that because there is one number on this die to represent each of the horses, and then this is just simply a 1 to 3 die to represent the movement. So for example, like I just did here, this is horse 6, and the horse 6 would move 3. There is a set of what the game calls starting cards, and these are basically what you are going to start the game with. They will determine what horses that you start the game putting bets on, as well as some various symbols up here, which is related to the concession stand that you're going to be marking off on your individual player boards. And I gotta say that these are clearly marked and they're very easy to read, so if you have any sight issues, you should not have any trouble reading them. And finally, the game comes with not 1, but 3 sets of horses, 1 for each of the racers. There are 3 cards to represent each horse, and each of them has some defining features. They have the number to represent the horse, obviously, as well as the name. They have this dollars up here, which is to represent how much you need to pay to, I'm assuming, own the horse. You have these odds back here, which is basically the multiplier to how much money I think you'll earn, depending on whether the horse comes in first, second, or third. It has a special ability that only that horse will possess. And then it has this bar down here, which I'm assuming, considering they're all different, is that if you were to roll this horse on the horse die, then you will then check this to see if that horse that is marked down here will move as well, but that is just a guess. I gotta say though, that it is very nicely designed, the text is very easy to read, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. So that is everything you will get if you obtain Longshot the Dice Game. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to learn how to play Longshot the Dice Game, or if you want to know my thoughts on it, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, reviews, and unboxings. Thank you all as always so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.